Thank you, Mr President. My question is to the Minister representing the Prime Minister, Senator Cormann. Can the Minister representing the Prime Minister inform the Senate how the Morrison government is building a stronger economy which rewards hard-working Australians?
The Minister representing the Prime Minister, Senator Cormann.
Thank you, Mr President. I thank Senator Henderson for that question. And Mr President, let me say up front, it's really good to be here. It's really good to be here. And it's really good to be here to explain to the Senate what the Morrison government is doing to build a stronger economy, creating better opportunities for the Australian people to get ahead.
Order.
Because, of course, when we came into government, we inherited from the Labor Party a weakening economy, rising unemployment, a rapidly deteriorating budget position. We worked hard to turn that around. Last financial year, the budget returned to balance. This year, we are on track to return the budget to surplus. And, of course,
Order
we have the first
left.
current account surplus in 40 years. We have the lowest welfare dependency in more than 30 years. We have been able the biggest tax cuts in more than 20 years, leaving more money in people's pockets. And indeed, Mr President, more than 1.5 million new jobs created under our period in government. In fact, in December, our employment rate fell to 5.1%. When Labor lost government, it was on the way past 6%. And indeed, Mr President, retail trade volumes in the December quarter grew by 0.5%, the strongest increase in a year and a half. Household disposable income in the September quarter had its biggest rise in a decade under our government, Mr President, And indeed, building approvals are up by almost 3% year on year. This week, the Westpac Melbourne Institute survey on consumer survey was up by 2.3%. We are delivering for the Australian people. While the Labor Party treats this institution with disrespect, we continue to do the job for the Australian people, building a stronger economy, creating more jobs, creating more opportunities for Australians to get ahead. That is why the Australian people re-elected us at the last election. That is why they voted against your socialist agenda, which they knew would leave every Australian worse off.
Senator Henderson, a supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr President. Can the Minister representing the Prime Minister outline how the Morrison government's energy policies are supporting a strong economy?
Senator Cormann.
Thank you very much, Mr President. Well, our policies are all about delivering more affordable, more reliable energy supplies in a way that helps us meet our emissions reduction targets. And of course, on this side of the chamber, we understand that it's very important to have a responsible and environmentally sustainable energy mix, including, of course, a very strong commitment to renewables. We are leading the world when it comes to the investment in renewables. But we also understand the need, of course, to ensure that we have got affordable and reliable supplies based on coal and gas. I mean, coal is and remains important to our energy security and our energy affordability. Not only does it provide cheap power, it also provides tens of thousands of jobs across regional communities. And of course, exporting Australian coal helps us to reduce global greenhouse gas emissions, which is why Labor should be supported.
Order, Senator Cormann. Senator Henderson, a final supplementary question.
Is the Minister representing the Prime Minister aware of any similar energy policies?
Senator Cormann.
Mr President, yes I am. Senator Farrell and the Otis Group.
Order. I've got Senator Wong on order. Senator Wong on a point of order.
It was a very big wind-up, but actually, yesterday probably should have taken a point of order on a similar question, I think, from Senator Rennick, which is there must be some reference to government policies. That wording was slightly better than yesterday's, but I would ask you—
let me hear the point of order.
Well, you are very excited today, aren't you? You're very excited. Very excited.
Order. Senator Wong.
I would ask you, Mr President, there is a lot of precedent associated with this type of questions. It generally is a form of wording which the government is not complying with. I ask you to consider that.
Senator Canavan on the point of order.
Order, Mr President. The reference here in this question, or the relevance of the Otis Group, is about government policy because it's a group of Labor MPs who want to adopt the government policy.
Senator Canavan. Order. After yesterday, I did consult the clerk on this matter with my ability to potentially foresee a question. The previous ruling that's been applied by numerous presidents, Seibert, Reid and Calvert, is that a question which invites a minister to comment on the policies or actions of non-government parties is out of order unless the question seeks an expression of the government's intentions in some matter of ministerial responsibility. Now, in my view, yesterday's question probably crossed that line. I will let the minister continue this, but I will review the Hansard on the basis that this question, which I don't have detailed notes of, asked for the minister's awareness. And so I will not rule it out of order at this point, but I will review the Hansard. And can I urge my colleagues who do ask questions to keep those standing orders in mind?
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, I'm optimistic about our future because we now know that Senator Farrell is leading the next generation of Labor leaders into supporting more responsible economic policies, and that is a great thing. And courtesy of Channel 10, we now know who the members of this coal industry, coal workers supporting Otis Group are. And indeed, we've got, Senator Sterle is on there twice. Senator Sterle is on there twice.
Order. Order. Senator Cormann. Senator Wong, were you raising a point of order? I was consulting the clerk, so I...
It's going to hold up a prop.
Oh, well, if props are not appropriate, my apologies, I was consulting the clerk. I'll call Senator Cormann to continue.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Quite a few Labor senators on there. Senator Sterle appears there twice. Is he particularly committed, or is he covering for somebody else? Maybe he's covering for Senator Sheldon, because he wrote a big job application for the Otis Group 9 years ago. In fact, it was written up by one Matthew Franklin. You might know who that is. I think he might work in Mr. Albanese's office, because Senator Sheldon appeared in front of my inquiry when he described Labor green carbon taxes as death taxes.
Order, Senator Cormann.
Order.